I'd like to call to order Cascade Charter Township Planning Commission meeting Monday, May 4th, 2026. Article 2, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Article 3, do I have a motion to approve the current agenda?
So moved. Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Article 4, disclose any conflict of interest. Anybody have any conflict of interest? Okay, good. Article 5, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from the March 16th, 2026 meeting?
So will. Second.
All right, motion and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, Article 6, acknowledge visitors and those wishing to speak. If you're here for one of the public hearings, we'll give you, well, one of them has been canceled, but the second one will give you an opportunity to speak on that. If there's something you want to speak about that's not on the agenda, this is your time. There will also be another opportunity later. So, you want to do it now, Scott, or you want to do it later? It's up to you. Okay. All right. Anybody online? Nope. Okay. Article 7, case number 253903 that has been canceled. I would like to talk about this, but do we do it here or do we do it new business? Or would you?
I suppose we could talk about it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say too, just because the packet, I think, explains.
Yeah, my concern is that, and I guess I'm asking for direction on how we proceed because how do we, is it an amendment to the ordinances where we can put a time limit on these things? Because I don't want to give approval for something. 2 years later, somebody sells the house, and that, I mean, no, that's not what this is. So if we give somebody approval, typically we have discussed about giving them a year. If they don't have the project moving in a year, then they have to come back in. They may not have to pay the fee again, but they have to come back in and get verbal approval. So.
Yeah, I think if you want to do that, you would need to add that to the ordinance because right now there's nothing in there that even gives that ability to, to place that time limit on it.
Okay.
I thought the current did give a time limit. It was just the letter didn't include it when it went out.
No, it was the opposite. So the current zoning ordinance does not allow a time limit to be placed on a special use permit. The letter that was issued back in 2022, it did have a time limit, and I couldn't find any reason that time limit was placed. We reviewed the planning commission meeting. There was no discussion of placing a time limit on it. So it seemed like that letter that was just added to the letter sort of by staff, I suppose. It does look like in late 2022, after that approval was given, staff stopped including that language in special use permit letters. So I'm not sure. I wasn't here then. I don't know why they stopped doing that, but my guess would be that they realized that there's nothing that says they could place a time limit, so they stopped doing that.
If we place a time,
because sorry, we've always been told there was a time limit.
That's what I thought.
Interesting. And also, if there wasn't one placed, it does continue though with what you just said with new property owners, not necessarily the applicant, which was the previous.
Well, typically special use permits run with the land, so it doesn't matter who owns the land. If they're doing the thing that was approved before. And in this case, they applied for the exact same approval as the previous approval. Now, in the zoning ordinance for a site plan approval, there is a 1-year time limit. So if you get a site plan approved, you have 1 year to pull your building permits and do that. But there's not anything like that for special use permits.
And you're talking to like the new zoning, it would be.
I'm talking about the current zoning ordinance, not the one that's sort of in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
So if we approve with conditions, even though there's not a time frame in the ordinance, if we approve it with the condition of, hey, this is good for up to a year, because we can do that, then that's okay.
I think that would be okay.
Okay.
That should be safe. I mean, the way I've seen it, for instance, if there's sort of an unwanted type of land use, like if you had, say, an auto repair shop that was in an area that, the master plan says this should be less sort of auto oriented or something along those lines. I've seen it where you could have a special use permit for a particular business, and you can say it's fine for you to have this auto repair use until you go out of business or until you sell it to somebody else. So I think that's well within your rights. So I think you could do something similar for special use permits going forward.
So you would have to be, if the property changes hand, if you haven't initiated the special use permit and the property changes hands, then the special use permit expires with the sale. But can we also do hey, we're giving you this special use permit that's only good for a year. If the plans haven't changed and you come back a year later, we don't have a problem reapproving it. But if the plans change at all, you go right back through the process.
Yeah, I think you'd be safe to do that. I'm not an attorney though.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
Can we have somebody? Can we have like township
I'm
check
just
on
gonna-
that? Maybe
can I-
with the attorneys and.
Can I just say, can you guys introduce who you
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I was.
Ask that.
Yeah.
next, so.
Yeah, I was telling myself, I'm like, I must.
me normally
Yes.
sits?
Oh,
so I'm like,
okay.
oh, maybe Foster Swift is
Yeah,
somebody
and I'm-
new.
That's who I thought.
And
maybe he
I'm
was
wearing the
attorney.
jacket too. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yes, my name's Kevin Garcia. I'm with McKenna.
Okay.
Right now, I'm the interim planner for Cascade.
Okay.
Did you want to introduce?
Yeah, and I'm Mallory Reeder from Foster Swift.
Okay.
I think Leslie's on maternity leave,
Yep.
and then Mike was double booked, so you're stuck with me today.
Okay.
But I was just going to chime in that yes, special land use permits do generally run with the land. If you wanted to say, you've got to start construction or start using the approved use within a year, that's definitely something that could be a condition or an amendment to the zoning ordinance. And I feel like we have some clients that do that for things that we want to make sure they're not waiting 3 years before they start doing whatever you've approved. So
We have to all remember, like when we approve this stuff, either put a time limit on it and then say, if you sell the land, the special use permit does not travel with the land sale.
And we'll look into
And
some
we should look
things.
into something putting something in the ordinance.
The new one has it.
Does it? Okay.
It does.
Okay.
So, and that's why I thought the old one did as well. I think that it was,
We've put time limits before on all kinds of stuff.
yeah, we'll see. The old
Okay.
one's written so bad, who knows what's,
Nothing?
sorry.
Okay.
I'm not wrong, am I?
It's true.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Does anybody have anything else they want to say about this or no? Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Article 8, case number 26-3915, Livingston Homes, request approval for a type 1 special use permit for a building over 832 square feet.
Okay, so, oops, pardon me. Okay, so the site in this case is about an 18.5 acre parcel. It's on the east side of Cherry Lane. This is part of a larger tract of farmland that was split into 3 large lots back in 2022 and sold to different buyers. The applicant is currently constructing a home on the site for the property owners, and I believe the property owners are here today. Okay, so this would be a type 1 special use permit to build a 1,200 square foot accessory building. The building would have let me go to the site plan. Okay. Might zoom in here. Okay, the building would have okay, so here's the accessory building in question. It would have a 250-foot front yard setback, about 300 feet on both the north and south side yard setbacks, and looked like at least 1,000 square foot on the rear yard setback. The owners plan to use it mostly for storing landscaping and gardening equipment, and used as a potting shed as well. They could store passenger vehicles in there and use it sort of as a typical garage, but that's not the main intent of the property owners. So since this accessory building is technically located in the front yard, the Planning Commission must consider two sets of criteria. One for a detached private garage larger than 832 square feet, and one set of criteria for accessory buildings in front yards. Those criteria and staff findings are in your memo on pages 3 and 4. Just as a note, all the standards are not required to be met, so all these criteria do not need to be met to approve the application. But the Planning Commission should consider the 8 criteria from section 17031A when making a decision, and also the 3 criteria from section 17031B. I'm sorry, in that latter section, only one of the 3 criteria are necessary. I can go into any of the particular criteria in more detail if you would like, but just for the sake of brevity, I will say that under 17031A, we find that the application meets 7 of those 8 criteria, so 7 of the 8 weigh in favor of granting approval. And then in section 17031B, where one of the 3 criteria needs to be met, we find the first 2 are not applicable here, but they do meet number 3, which is a lot in which the accessory building is set back a minimum of 200 feet from the right-of-way. We have received no comments from neighbors as of the writing of our report or as of today. So again, you should consider those aforementioned criteria, but our recommendation is that you make a motion to approve case 263915 for a type 1 special use for a residential accessory building greater than 832 square feet located in the front yard at 3758 Cherry Lane Southeast for the following reasons. Number 1, that 7 of the 8 criteria used to evaluate accessory garages weigh in favor of granting approval. And then number 2, that the proposed accessory building is set back more than 200 feet from the right-of-way. Along with conditions that construction be in general conformance with the attached site plan, that the accessory building shall not be used for a home occupation or accessory dwelling unit, and that outdoor lighting must adhere to the Cascade Township standards, that they're shielded or downcast, not creating glare for neighbors. That concludes my report. I will go through and let's see if I have okay, there's a site plan. Here's some renderings of the building. It is designed, I think I get into this in the report, but it is designed to match the aesthetic of the house that's under construction as well. So I can take any questions if you have those.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a few questions. So in looking at the lot and the lay of the land, I'm trying to understand why the first idea is to get a variance instead of to build it according to the zoning ordinance. Why it's not being built in the backyard when there's nothing to prohibit that.
Well, we will in just a second. Would that be, could the staff have anything to add to that? Because there's a process we do it. So we'll get you up there. Yes.
Because, there are the ordinance is there for a reason, and there can be exceptions when the circumstances warrant it. And oftentimes, in the times that I've been here, it's because the topography or some other purpose that it can't be built in the backyard, like a septic field.
Certainly. I am not aware of the reasoning for it in the front yard versus the rear yard.
Okay. And it looks like the topography, it's a bit on a hill. And there's a lot further south from 36th Street that recently sold. And so that neighbor probably would not have been asked for input, being that it's just vacant land that just sold.
That was one of my questions. Who was notified on either side? Was it the newest landowners that are building there, or the
So it would be, I mean, when we send out the letters, it would be whoever was the property owner at the time. So if it sold within like the last week or so, maybe the new owners wouldn't have gotten it, but
Okay.
it's pretty recent.
Do you have any more questions?
Do.
Then rock on.
So with that recently sold lot of land, the way that the topography is, there's not a home there now, and so building that accessory building in the front yard would not obstruct the view now. But if a home were situated in the same way in which this home is, due to the topography, it appears that it could obstruct the view.
Are you talking about to the north or to the south?
There's a lot to the south, away from 36th Street.
Is the lot to the south just, it's hard to tell because the satellites don't pull up the most recent, but the lot
Right.
to the south, is that more of a flag lot? Does the driveway go back?
Oh,
quite a bit?
I don't think it was like a flag lot. And I don't have the aerial here. I could pull that up from the internet.
Okay.
Nick says yes, it's a flag lot.
Oh, somewhere.
Yeah, it's like in the first.
It goes
you can-
back, and then they're thinking about building. You can tell all the stuff's back there, but you can't see exactly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, is it back on the flag,
Oh,
the
yeah.
big portion? Wait, in a minute, we'll let you.
Yeah.
Because that's when I saw it, I was like, oh, I bet that's going to be way back in there.
So, do you have more questions?
No, I just wanted to gain an understanding and make sure that those things were considered.
Good questions. So my question is, the positioning of the house is kind of at a 45, we'll say, ish angle within the property. So would the front yard be the direction that the house is pointing? Or would the front yard be 36th? Or would it be Cherry Lane? What's actually considered the front yard?
Yeah, so the front lot line is along Cherry Lane.
Okay.
And then the front yard, by definition, is basically between the front lot line and the nearest point of the main building. So, if the building were 900 feet back from the street, and this build and the garage or the accessory building was 850 feet, it would still technically be in the front yard.
Okay.
And they would still, you'd still require this approval.
Because I'm looking at the house saying, well, that's kind of potentially the side of the yard, right? But okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for staff?
I think you tried to address it, but so on the second factor, the proposed location, type, and kind of construction and general architecture character of the building, you say that it's designed to match the house, weighs in favor. It's just, I'm wondering what other information was provided or how you would know that. It's not, there's no way to determine that from the information that we have.
Right, and I should have included the more full site plan so you could compare the house that's under construction to this accessory building. That was my intent, but I did not do that, so I apologize for that.
In any event, though, you're telling us, so you were able to review the current site plan, which would include the design, construction of the house, compared the two, and reach that conclusion.
Yes.
And the house is pretty close to being done. So driving back, when I saw the picture, I was like, oh yeah, that looks like the house I drove by.
All right, just for clarification for me, it's over 18 acres is the lot.
It's a big lot.
The accessory building is 1,200 square feet. The ordinance is 200 feet from the lot line, and they're at 250 and 300 on. Okay, just for clarification.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions for staff? No? Okay. Would the applicant like to come up and speak? Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Marie Patterson, 3758 Cherry Lane, and we moved in. So,
Okay, good. Okay. Thanks. Oh,
Sorry.
Okay.
okay. Thank you. So why are you putting it on? I'm going to call it the side, but we're going to call it the front. Why are you putting it there, not further back? Just out of
Okay.
curiosity.
So to begin with, when we bought the property, there was not a driveway and it was a hill to go up. So
Okay.
we didn't have car access. But I love to garden, plant fruit trees. Joe lugged soil and trees up the hill. And that, I could show you on the map. But
Go ahead. When you drive by, is it where the fence kind of, because don't you have it fenced off on that one side?
There's
trees
not really
are?
a real, we've got like a dead hedge fence.
That's
and
what
then
it
there's-
was.
Yeah, so
It's by
it's
there.
even further.
Okay.
So it's in the corner, kind of where the clicker is right there.
Okay.
So we've got fruit trees that we started a few years ago, which is great, and then another year we added strawberry beds, some raspberries, some asparagus. So anyway, that's where the garden is, and it started there because that's where he hauled the stuff, and it was sunny and beautiful old corn. So that's why we like the pole barn near that. The
Okay.
pole barn is mostly for gardening, lawnmower, that kind of thing. Also, so our house is pretty much in the center of the front part and, very far from the street. There are all kinds of pole barns closer to the street. Farther back, we plan on painting it the same color as the house. The roof might not be quite as peaked. We're just thinking to save costs, we might go lower because again, it's not a fancy garage, it's a pole barn. And then the placement of it, I placed the house because I have this idea that I love native plants. I like being ecologically conscious. The house is more of a 25-30 degree angle from the south. So in the winter, the lower sun should heat through our big back window where all the, we look out. And so that's good environmentally and for heating costs. And then we have the front porch, we can watch the sunset. The back porch, we can watch, and the deck, we can watch the sun rise. But if you're sitting on either of those and you look toward the pole barn, you don't really see it because it's next to the garage and you can just have this huge 180-degree view of our beautiful Cascade Township property, so it's for aesthetic purposes too. It's close to the garden. It's not huge, they're, as far as pole barns go.
And the topography does play a bit of a role because
it
the hill
goes
does
down.
fall off. And so extending the driveway farther back and stuff was kind of impractical.
Right.
And
So there was a
expensive.
concern with that.
Yeah.
So it goes downhill off the back.
Yeah,
So
our
and-
house is placed at the highest part of the
Right.
property.
In addition to that, too, the way the topography is, the neighbor's house that's being put in to the south, I don't think you can see up the hill enough to see where this pole barn would be.
They,
the
they
way
might be
they're
able to, honestly, because you see the tree line going to the south.
going.
Their house is right next to the property where that tree line is. Like where our property ends and that clicker is that tree line, they took those trees out. That's their driveway all the way from Cherry Lane up to the tree line, just through it, and they'll turn into their garage.
Right.
So their house is situated, it's facing Cherry Lane. Their garage is on our side. So it's not like their
So
view
there's
is,
this flip.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
they,
it's not like it's when they drive in and out, they might see it, but it's not like it's going to be they're staring out their front
No,
windows.
and
at
I
your
don't think
thing.
so.
I said
Mine,
they've
they've
been
been
on our
wonderful
property.
neighbors. We gave them access because they couldn't get on their property. They've driven machines, everything across our property to perk it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I
they're
can't
well
speak
aware
for
of where
them,
that
but they're well
is,
aware of.
And they
Yeah.
have no problem.
I have a question for y'all. So your property line is at 36th Street?
No.
No, it's on Cherry Lane. It's south.
Right now, but it seems like 18 acres, you said?
It goes.
It's deep.
It's deep.
Oh, I
it
got
goes,
you.
you
So
know,
this,
between
so this tree line here,
that tree line's not even halfway.
Yeah, that tree line is not
Yeah.
halfway to the back, and it runs north and
Right.
south.
And you see that other tree
and
line?
so they
It
have an
still goes
access,
in
there's an access road down on the bottom here for this people to get over to this?
No, they just
They-
cross right by where the pole barn. They
Yeah.
just go up our driveway and drive across our property right in front of where the pole barn, between Cherry Lane and the pole barn.
They have
I'm-
since excavated it.
Yeah, they have a driveway now.
So that runs south, our south property. line.
I'm looking at an old picture and it's, it shows like a tree line south of your property.
Yep, they cleared a lot of that.
Yeah. Yep.
North and south, it'll run north and south. And your property's on the west side of that, seems like, right?
Yeah,
Our property goes from Cherry Lane through that tree line back into the swampy forested area in the back.
Oh, even deeper into the
yeah, it's
tree.
a deeper, like it's like 3 acres wide, but maybe
Uh-huh.
9 acres deep
I
toward the
got you.
woods.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I have. Thanks.
Does anybody else have any other questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, I'll take a motion to hear a motion to go to public hearing.
Make a motion to open public hearing.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, this is, you know the drill. Mr. Van Solkema.
Yes, thank you. Scott Van Solkema, Orange Court. Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. What you are seeing tonight is not an exception. It is a symptom of a system that had drifted far too long into excessive and unnecessary control. A responsible homeowner on nearly 20 acres simply wants to build a modest 1,200 square foot accessory building set back 250 feet from the road. Under the new zoning ordinance, this property owner could actually build up to a 3,000 square foot accessory building if they wanted. By any reasonable standard, this is an extremely low impact, compatible, and entirely predictable use of rural residential property. Yet under the old rules, which we have to follow still, this family was forced to hire consultants, pay fees, endure weeks of delay, and stand before this commission simply to exercise basic rights on their own land. That is not planning. That is bureaucratic overreach. The previous rules dragged everyday citizens into public hearings based on arbitrary square footage triggers, like the 832 square foot threshold. Where did they even come up with that number? That had zero connection to actual impacts, compatibility, or harm to neighbors. These rules didn't protect the community. They created barriers that favored those with deep pockets while punishing responsible homeowners who simply wanted to build a garage or barn. The newly adopted zoning ordinance was deliberately enacted to end this exact problem. It removes those artificial tripwires. It shifts routine, low-impact residential improvements to straightforward administrative zoning review. And it finally allows this commission to focus on the projects that truly deserve scrutiny, those with genuine community-wide impacts. Unfortunately, we are now witnessing the unintended consequences of realtors and developers actively stonewalling and delaying the new ordinance. Through organized testimony, industry group pressure, and successful referendum push, they have prolonged the very red tape the township sought to eliminate. Every month of delay means more unnecessary hearings, more costs passed on to working families and retirees, and more frustration with the local government. This reform is not a weakening of standards. It is a strengthening of fair, rational, and effective governance. It restores proportionality. It respects legitimate property rights while protecting the character and quality of life that makes Cascade special. And it sends a clear message. Reasonable, responsible use of one's own land should not require jumping through endless hoops. Cases like this one prove why the new ordinance was not just justified, it was essential. It's time to fully implement those common sense reforms and stop letting special interests stand in the way of progress that benefits the vast majority of our residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
So obviously you know where I stand
I
on
know.
the new zoning
Yes,
ordinance.
Thank you. Appreciate
So,
it.
thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like, anybody online that would like to? No? Okay. I'll hear, make a motion to close public hearing.
Support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. I mean, yeah, it's in the front yard, but it's 250 feet back. They're kind of in the middle of, they're out. I mean, it's 1,200 square feet. Is it perfect? No, but I don't really see a problem with this. But I don't know if anybody else does or anybody else has any issues.
I have no problem with it.
Anyone? No? You're good.
I think it's a preference. I think it's a preference, but it was helpful to learn about the topography.
Yeah.
That, it's not ideal to be going downhill in the winter toward a pole barn. So that was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. I generally don't get too worked up about these accessory buildings, but
I know you don't.
but this one, for example, I mean, this is a big, relatively speaking, big piece of land. It's not, it's not a huge barn at all. So,
plus I think it coincides with, like Mr. Van Solcombe has said, it coincides with our new ordinances that we're trying to.
I agree.
Adopt.
100%.
I'm always interested in looking at the charts of the historic data. Did you guys look at this one?
Oh yeah.
I did.
Saw that this one was 945% of the. I was kind of shocked to see
Most
that.
of the ones on there.
Apparently, you weren't on the commission back then.
No, but that's where our new zoning comes with layered based on your property size as to how big you can put a pole barn in, because that's what makes sense.
Right.
Right.
So, okay.
Well, I guess that one was 160 acres, but 15,000 square foot. accessory
That's a
building.
house. Well, I mean, I guess, if it's a working farm, I get that. But if it,
Well, there's bigger ones right in the neighborhood. It's here on Cherry Lane that
yeah,
are
we've got bigger ones
Exactly.
and
bigger
much
ones with smaller
lots.
lots than they're asking
So,
for, so it's not
yeah.
a problem.
Any other discussion or comments? Does anybody want to take a crack at it?
Do I gotta find something to read here somewhere? Sorry. I'll make a motion to approve case number. Sorry, I'm digging for this. Here we are. 26-3915 for type 1 special use for a residential accessory building. Can I add that? No, it's okay. Greater than 832 square feet, located in the front yard at 3758 Cherry Lane Southeast for the following reasons. 7 of the 8 criteria used to evaluate accessory garages weigh in favor of granting approval. The proposed accessory building is set back more than 200 feet from the right of way, and with the following condition, construction must be in general conformance with the attached site plan. The accessory building shall not be used for home occupation or accessory dwelling unit. Outdoor lighting must adhere to Cascade Township standards, shielded or downcast, not create glaring for neighbors. And what did we talk about earlier? Must be started within 12 months. Can I add that?
Yeah. And if they sell the property,
It does
doesn't
not go with the next person.
go to the next person.
Probably starting tomorrow.
Probably is.
Is 12 months give you guys enough time? Okay. All right. Just
Okay.
I'm asking, right?
You heard, we
Yeah.
had one from
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
So just wanted to make sure that was in there. All right. That's it.
Support.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You're welcome.
Thanks,
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Yeah, you drive by a nice property with a nice barn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let me get back to my cover page. All right. Article 9, acknowledge visitors and those wishing to speak. Anybody? We good? None late. All right. Article 10, other business. Does anybody have any other business? All good? All right. Article 11, meeting adjourned.